Hi, we're back again with another installment of Tater Tot Academy. So we're here to go ahead and go over adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing positive and negative mixed number fractions. This can be a spot that many people get stuck up on, so we don't want people to be hung up, so we're going to go ahead and go over some of these things. Now, we're dealing today with positive and negative numbers, so part of what we're doing is making sure we know our rules of integers, and we're applying them to the fractions, but then we also have to know how to combine the fractions. So it's a double whammy here at once. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, and we have 5 1/7 and 2 2/3. The first thing I like to say is let's go ahead and stack them and put the bigger number on top. So in this case it'll be 5 1/7. And then we will take the 2 2/3 and put it below. Let's go ahead and put our line under them. We're going to start with going ahead and putting comparing what we see here, and we see that they are both negative. So whenever the signs are the same, we know that we add. So let's put a plus sign, and we keep the sign. So our answer will already have a negative sign. Well, the next thing is when we're adding and subtracting, we've got to make sure that our denominators match. And right now we have a 7 and a 3. So we have to find an LCD, and in this case, it will be 21. So we have to see how many times 7 goes into 21, and that's 3 times. Multiply it by the 1 here on the top, and now we'll have 3 21sts. I'll do the same thing on the next one. 3 into 21 goes 7 times the 2 is 14. Well, now I see that I'm adding these two numbers together. So let's go ahead and add 5 1/7 to 2 2/3, and I'll get the 3 and the 14 to give me 17 21sts. And 5 and 2 is 7. There's no other reduction that can be made in this case, so I'll go ahead and I'll circle that. And I have the answer of negative 7 and 17 21sts. Okay, so let's take a look at another one. Here, we'll go ahead and stack like we did before. So we have a 4 1/5, and we also have a 2 2/3. When we look, the signs are not the same. So we're going to keep the sign of the larger, which is negative. Sorry, we're going to find the difference because they're not the same. And we're going to keep the sign of the larger, which is negative. Sorry, I said that wrong at first. But next thing we have to do is we have to make our denominators the same again. So we have a 5 and a 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out that they are both 15ths. And we'll go 5 goes into 15 3 times. Times 1 is 3. Next we'll go 3 goes into 15 5 times the 2 is 10. Now we are subtracting these. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to borrow from the 4 place. I'm going to have to give 15 15ths. Oops, let me write that a better way. So I'll take that 3, and this will become an 18. So because I had to give 15 15ths, so I added 3 15ths to 15 15ths to get 8 15ths, 18 15ths. Now I can subtract 10 15ths from 18 15ths to get 8 15ths, and I can subtract 2 from 3 to get 1. So I have an answer of negative 1 and 8 15ths. So let's look at this again. We see that we had the signs were different, so I found the difference, and I kept the sign of the larger number, which was negative. This is from a previous lesson that we did on integers. Made sure that we stacked them with a bigger number on top. Found the common denominators. I saw that I could not take 10 from 3, so I had to borrow for that 3. So I took 15 15ths and added it to 3 15ths to give me 8 15ths. All right, let's go ahead and go to our next one, because now we're going to head on over to multiplying and dividing. So to multiply and divide, we do no longer have to worry about if we are making these denominators the same. We just have to put them into improper fractions. So I look at my first one, and I'll go 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10, so I get 10 thirds. And I'm multiplying that by, let's look, and I see 5 times 3 is 15, and 1 more is 16. So step 1, when I multiply, I want to reduce early. I don't want to wait till the last minute, so I'm going to reduce early. So if there's anything that I can reduce, either from the same numerator and denominator or from opposite numerators and denominators, this only works in the multiplication phase. And I see I have a 10 and a 5. And 5 goes into both of these, so 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 10 twice. As I look around, there's nothing else that can reduce, because 3 can't go into 2 and 3 can't go into 16. So let me go ahead and multiply these across. 2 times 16 is 32, and 3 times 1 is 3. My last step is I've got to make sure I look, and I see that 3 times 3 is 9. 3 goes into 32 10 times with 2 left over, so 10 2/3. So once again, the basics to multiplication is I must put them into improper form. Then I can reduce anything that I see from either numerator and denominator, and then I multiply across. And then, of course, you always must put them back into proper form. Okay, let's try this with division. Division is almost exactly the same. Let's put them into improper first. So 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8/3. Divided by 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7/2. But I do notice that I am multiplying. So whenever I multiply by a number, divide by a number, I am multiplying by its reciprocal. So I'm going to take the reciprocal of 7/2. So let me set this up. 8/3. Now we are times by the reciprocal, which is 2/7. I'm looking to see if there's anything that I can reduce, and there isn't anything. 3 goes into 3, can't get into 8 or 2, and 7 cannot go into 8 or 2. So I'll just multiply across, and 8 times 2 is 16, and 3 times 7 is 21. And that would be my final answer. It would be 16/21. For my final one, same basic idea. I have 10 and 2/5 divided by 3 and 1/15. So I'll do the same thing. I'll put them into improper fractions. 5 times 10 plus 2 is 52/5 divided by 46/15, because I went 15 times 3 is 45 plus 1 is 46. Whenever you divide by a number, you multiply by its reciprocal. So let's go ahead and rewrite this as 52/5 multiplied by 15/46. Now, do we see anything that we can reduce? Oh, excellent. Yes, we do. The 15 and the 5. So 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 15 3 times. Hey, look at on the other side, 52 and 46. So we'll take a look at that. I can go and divide by 2, 26. Divide by 2, 23. If I look around, there is nothing else that works in this. So I will go 26 times 3 to give me 78, and 1 times 23 to give me 23. I'll go ahead and look over here, and 23 goes into 78 3 times, and I will have 9 left over. So for 9/23. That's it for today on Tater Tot Academy. We went over adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. Please go through and check these out. See if it can help you to become better. Thank you, and good night.